Hi, my name is Michael Ward, and today I'm going to talk to you about the music business and how recording has changed the style and type of music that we hear today. Now, I'm a recording artist, and I've played on over 100 CDs in my career, and I've seen different changes as technology has come in and made the format of recording different. Now, back in the 40s and 50s, the engineer only really had one or two tracks to record the music to. Therefore, all of the musicians who performed on this recording, they had to come in at the same time and record. And if one musician made a mistake, the entire band had to go back to the beginning and start from the beginning and record the whole song again. Well, many of these musicians became very proficient at their art form and made very few mistakes. And this led to certain sounds that record companies wanted to hear. They hired the same musicians on all of their records, regardless of how many different artists they had come in. They still had the same rhythm section, because these musicians, being so flawless in their playing, cost the record company less money. One record company that achieved this was a company called Motown Records out of Detroit, Michigan. They recorded great artists like the Temptations, Gladys Knight, Jackson 5, Diana Ross, and a host of other great artists who became very famous and legends in the music business. However, the group of musicians that backed all of these artists up were a group of men called the Funk Brothers. And they played on virtually every record Motown Records put out back in the 60s and early 70s. Another company that achieved this was a record company called Sun Records, based out of Memphis, Tennessee. This label recorded great artists like Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, and even Johnny Cash. Well, this label also used the same group of studio musicians on most of their recordings, and they also had a sound that became known as that Memphis sound. A third label that does this, or did this, was a label out of Chicago, Illinois called Chess Records. They were well known for artists like Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Etta James, Chuck Berry, and many others. This label also used the same group of musicians to play on most of its records, and also the same producers who wrote many of these songs for all of these different artists. Well, as technology changed, now engineers had more than two tracks to work with, and in the mid-70s and to the late 80s, well, now you had 35, 40 tracks to work with. Well, what this led to is musicians not having to be in the studio at the same time, but being able to come in at different times and record specifically their parts to a musical composition. This is what we call overdubbing. Well, by this process, the music started being lost, because now the musicians are not playing together. However, they're playing on the same record. So now you're losing the spontaneity that these records once had, the magic that these musicians played with when they recorded together. Their technology even got worse, or better if you want to say, where now you're doing recording sessions, and you're able to do recording sessions. One, you have infinite tracks. You have as many tracks as you could possibly record onto, but you also can record a whole entire record where none of the musicians are even in the same city, same country. The problem with this is that nowadays many of the recording artists don't even use live musicians anymore. They're using keyboard synthesizers and tone generators that emulate what a real guitar sounds like, or what a real violin sounds like, and certain things. Well, now the music, to me, is totally lost. The music and the quality is not there anymore. So in conclusion, record companies have no longer become involved with their artists and the songs that their artists choose to perform. Because of this, artists are going out and choosing and playing and performing and recording their own records at their own homes because of technology. So the quality is not there. I hope and I truly believe that this next generation of musicians, I hope they truly decide to step up to the plate and go backwards and backwards back to the quality that we once had in our music industry. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and my name is Michael Ward, and until next time, see you.